Well, at least 7 people are in custody after a series of FBI raids in a rugged part of Michigan as well as in Ohio and Indiana. And within the next hour, we should know what they're looking for exactly. National correspondent Susan Candiotti joins me now. Do we know anything about these people that they arrested?
Very little right now until these charges are unsealed in court. But we do know that the FBI is not telling us, nor are prosecutors, whether these people actually belong to a militia group. We do know from prosecutors, as you said, that 7 people have been arrested at various locations in Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana, and that helicopters were used in some areas as authorities executed search warrants. Now, people who live near those Michigan sites describe some of those involved in the operation as being part of a Christian militia group.
All right, let's talk about this militia group. Hutari, it has a website, it has videos. This is new to a lot of us.
I had not heard about it either until now, so we've been looking it up. And on this group's website, they have posted, for example, and it's called Hutari, there's an insignia that shows a cross and what appears to be 2 spears across the bottom. There are also videos that are set to music that show people with their faces covered training or posing with guns, and sometimes you can hear gunshots. And there are also some statements posted on the site. Now, one of the statements on the site reads like this, quote, "We believe that one day, as prophecy says, there will be an Antichrist. All Christians must know this and prepare just as Christ commanded."
So, do we know if authorities here internationally have known anything about this organization? Is this just coming out of nowhere? Do we know if this will be a terrorism case, a domestic case, an international case?
All we know right now is that according to a law enforcement source, that this does not involve domestic or international terrorism, and that the arrests do not involve anyone in a conspiracy to target anything involving the federal government in any way, shape, or form. But again, neither the FBI nor prosecutors have pinpointed yet a militia group per se. These charges are kept under seal, they're telling us repeatedly, and that they will be unsealed within the next hour. So we'll know very, very soon.
All right, Susan Candiotti, appreciate it. It's like these groups are just popping up at random all over the place. You wonder what the continued influence is.
It did, and certainly we hope to be able to find that out. Once we know more about what this group is, we'll be able to delve more into, the intricacies of it, how well known they are, how many members there are, if in fact this is the group that is being targeted.
Got it. Susan, thanks so much. Our affiliate in Detroit says the raid in Michigan centered on a property where suspected members of a Christian militia are living. One of those arrests was in Hammond, Indiana, and we're told the agents are targeting a Christian militia by the name of Hutari. CNN national correspondent Susan Candiotti here now. She's got her notes. She's marking things down. You just got the charges, right?
That's right.
Okay, well, let's go unravel it.
Well, all right. So this turns out to be a grand jury indictment against a group that we were talking about all morning long. This group has been identified as a militia that appears to be based in Michigan, and it is called Hutari. And we'll get more about that in a moment. Let's lay out what the charges are. We had heard that at least 7 people have been arrested. 9 people are named in this federal indictment, just unsealed by a grand jury and the prosecutor's office in Detroit. There appear to be 4 charges involved in this conspiracy, and they're talking about a group they said that ultimately is described by the government as an anti-government extremist group that, according to this document, advocates violence against local, state, and federal law enforcement officers. And this material says that they were planning since 2008 to come up to advocate violence, to carry out attacks by, at some point, luring in police officers if they could. If I may, that's kind of interesting what they say right here. To lure government officials to prompt some sort of a response by them by carrying out some kind of action. And then they are discussing possible violence that includes killing a member of law enforcement after perhaps a traffic stop, this says. And then it says killing them or their family at home, creating an ambush that might involve a fake 911 call to get them to respond, and then they could continue along these lines.
So all this to sort of create a buzz, to generate attention for their group called Hutari.
Exactly, exactly. But they're also talking about using attempted weapons of mass destruction. That's one of the charges. And by that, they're specifically talking about explosive mines that they would use to throw against law enforcement officers, their vehicles, and undescribed targets of some kind, either building. They don't mention it per se in here.
Now, we're looking actually at the website right now. You actually told about, so we've been taking a look at this. What do we know about this website? What's on the website? Do we know anything else? It looks like they defined Hutari as a Christian warrior. Do we know if the FBI has been following them for a long period of time? How did they find out about this organization?
Well, we'll continue to learn more about that as we go through this document, but we do know at the very least that they've been looking at them for at least a couple of years. It mentions 2008 that they've been around this group, and so they could have been looking at them for that length of time. It shows this website. It shows people in uniform. Their faces are covered. At times you see them using weapons, and it also shows at various times there's an insignia that's shown on there that shows a cross, as well as with some spears running across the bottom of it, crisscrossed. And there's been a bed of music running underneath this as well. We also, there you can hear the music underneath there. We also had some quotes that we saw on there that we talked about previously. I don't have it handy, but they talk about carrying out some sort of an attack, or that it goes along with their theme. Here's the quote here. "We believe that one day, as prophecy says, there will be an antichrist, and all Christians must know this and prepare just as Christ commanded." So the thing is now, clearly we need to find out more about this group, who belongs to it. These are certain members that have been identified by the government as being members of this group.
These 9 people that were named in the suit.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they're appearing in court at this hour, making their first appearance.
All right, keep us updated. It's definitely fascinating. I mean, you think of the Midwest as, you know, good values, good people. You don't expect something like this out there. Thanks, Susan.
You're welcome.